What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Paste Studios here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City, as always. We are joined right now by a very special guest. We're really happy to have him. This is Mr. PJ Morton with us today.
Yes, good to be here, man.
How's it going, man? Yeah, thanks for coming.
Good. Good to be in New York. Cold.
It's cold, man. I know. That is the topic of conversation today.
Yes.
It's the first thing anyone is saying to everyone else. It's
especially
like, man,
these Southern boys right here, man.
it is cold.
But,
yeah. This is unusual even for us. Man.
Yeah.
It is seriously cold today.
It's good to be here, though, man.
Cool. PJ is joined today by Brian Cockrum on bass.
Yeah.
And your new record, newish record, it came out earlier this year. It's called Gumbo.
Yes.
Your first independently released record. And I'm happy to say it's nominated for 2 Grammys right now.
Yes, it's exciting. It's first, I've done some independent records before. First one on my label, Morton Records. Yeah, and it's just very exciting, man. I worked really hard, moved to New Orleans, moved back home, and focused in on this record, made what I really wanted.
Yeah.
And who knew, it's gotten gotten nominated and recognized. So I'm just
it's amazing,
over the moon, man.
Yeah, cool. And we're really excited to hear some songs from it today. I think I'm gonna do 3 songs for us today, all from Gumbo.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the first one you're gonna do.
We're gonna start off with Claustrophobic, which is kind of it was one of the first songs between that and First Begin. The first songs that kind of put me in gear to make this record. And Claustrophobic is a song that really talks about me not liking boxes, not like being boxed in. And that's kind of the spirit that I made this record in, was I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't really care about anything else, So this Claustrophobic talks about me when I was still living in California, and some of the things I heard from people, and I just spoke my mind.
Cool, man.
Yeah. All right. Here you go. They say stuff like, PJ, you're not mainstream enough. Would you consider us changing some stuff? Oh, like everything about who you are. Yeah. No offense, we're just trying to make you a star. But I must admit, I'm claustrophobic. I have a hard time trying to fit into your small mind. And I have a habit of dreaming bigger than anything I can see right in front of me. They say, PJ, you're not quite street enough, yeah. Thug life, my nigga, act a little more tough. Oh, and can you switch your style up a little more? Please. You can be yourself later, for now we need the radio. But I must admit, I'm claustrophobic. I have a hard time trying to fit into your small mind. And I have a habit of dreaming bigger than anything I can see right in front of me. Can't see the forest for the trees, the movement for the breeze, standing on my own feet. Hey, can't see what you might want from me. Think it's better if we be ourselves. They clutch into my talents more than Catholics do a rosary. Steady as where that accent travel you from New Orleans. Go so why I dabble with negative energy when all I really feel is a positive sensibility. Not the hardest rapper, but I'm about as much as Master P. Don't play with me. 504 my home, don't you know that? Strolling through the streets, you should probably take a Kodak. Photosynthesized, routing right in front of your eyes. Made a trip to Cali, came back a different guy. Living through the same eyes, riding Uber, still got drive. Been the truest, never lie. But I need a little space, cause I'm better doing me. Just recite if you relate, yeah. A claustrophobic guy, yeah. have a hard time trying to fit into your small bun. And I have a habit of dreaming bigger than anything I can see right in front of me. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So many of y'all, I just appreciate it.
Oh, I know. I always say people don't realize there are like thousands of people here.
Oh, yeah.
But they're just they're in awe. You know, like they don't know what to do.
Didn't know what to say.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
So that was, that's a song that jumps out at me off this record because of sort of the backstory of it. Just to give a little bit of that background for our readers, our viewers. PJ is a member of Maroon 5, keyboardist with Maroon 5. You've produced a lot. You've written with a lot of great pop stars.
Yes.
R&B stars out in California, Solange. You work with her at Seat at the Table. And you've made solo records before. This is your fourth, I think. Is that right?
Yes, fourth. Yes, solo studio record. Yeah.
So tell me, what was different? Like a song like Claustrophobic, right? You left LA, you went back home to New Orleans, you made this record called Gumbo. What was different this time around for you to inspire you to write a song like that?
I think, and shout out to Maroon 5 because I think the success really freed me. A lot of times as musicians and as artists, we have these goalposts that we want to reach, on these bucket list things. And although I didn't hit all of them as a solo artist, Maroon 5 came into my life and I started just knocking all of my bucket list down. Wanted to play SNL and I played it, 3-4 times. Wanted to play the Grammys, played it 3-4 times. Wanted to know what a hit record felt like. We had 5 in a row as soon as I joined the band. So I just felt blessed. But what I thought that was going to make me do was want that even more. It made me think that, okay, this is showing me how to play in arenas. I can't wait till we do this. This is showing me how to get hits over and over again. But what it did, instead of that, it made me go inward and said, okay, well, I'm cool. I got the success and that is great and it's amazing. But I realized what means more to me is saying something, saying what I really want to say, and also being who I want to be. And that means more to me than the hits. While they're great, we just put out a new album called Red Pill Blues.
Yeah.
And I love this record. And really it's the dichotomy of me, right? Because I love that. I mean, I was into Stevie Wonder and I was into the Beatles. I've always loved a vast amount of music, from pop to R&B to gospel, my roots, to hip hop, of course. But what I saw as a solo artist, what meant more to me is not chasing hits or chasing success, but to really do some amazing bodies of work and just doing amazing art. So I really have to thank the success for allowing me to go inward and to not care anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of freed me up to just like, if I'm being honest, I don't need to sell records, I'm okay. I got a cool day job, you know what I'm saying? So I'm able to make music that I just really care about. And what's crazy is, then you do that, right? When you don't care and you say, I don't care. And then that's when the Grammys come,
That's right.
So it's kind of like the flip of that. And it's easier said than done. Like, man, just be yourself and make what you believe in and people will follow. But that's easier said than done. But when you really don't care, I mean, it worked out this time around and people really took notice to Gumbo.
Yeah, cool. Did you feel like you could not make this record in Los Angeles? Because I think your last record, was called New Orleans.
It was called New Orleans. I made it in L.A.
And you made it in L.A.
Yeah.
So this time you knew you had to go?
I couldn't. Yeah, I think it was time up for me in L.A. I was just kind of cluttered. I couldn't think anymore. I couldn't really be creative. It was just a lot of hit talk and like smash talk and like, oh, what are you? And I'm like, I just knew I had to go, and it was bigger than music with me moving home. I really just wanted to, because why I left home was because of the absence of like music business infrastructure, you know, it's like I wanted to be a big star, so it's like I couldn't do it here. I wasn't a jazz musician,
Yeah.
you know. So part of going home was creating an environment where people can be creative and not have to leave, where there's some music business infrastructure there, which is where Morton Records came from. But,
right, and certainly, obviously, a ton of history and culture. I mean, New Orleans,
course,
you know,
yeah.
it's a capital. It's a capital of music.
That's right. Yeah, it's the you know, the first original form of American music was created there. So that's always been there. The culture's always been there. I've always worn it as a badge of honor. The culture's always been there. The talent's always been there. It's always just been an absence of music business. Packaging all that talent, all that pixie dust that we have in New Orleans and exporting it out. We've always had to go away to get somebody to really invest in it. So that's part of being home too.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do a couple more for us
Yes.
from Gumbo today. Tell me a little bit about this next one you're gonna do.
We're gonna do so one of the Grammy nominations is for Best R&B Album,
Yep.
and the other is for Best R&B Song. And this is one of the few love songs on the album. I really set out to not, because I've always talked about love. I love love. That's what R&B music is, a lot of it. But I really wanted to have this album be a reflection of the times, you know, and like not just talk about love, but talk about you know, claustrophobic, creative freedom, and sticking to my guns, and we had religion, where I'm talking about religion on the album. But this is, you know, I couldn't not do a love song, and this is First Begin was kind of one of the first songs. We actually recorded one of the first versions of this in New York City, and it's become a favorite. So I'm gonna do that right now. First Begin.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. No one makes me feel the way you do inside, and I don't know what I would do without you, and that's no lie. If I die, I'd hope to find you in another life, so we could fall again. Be the way we were when we first began. Like the first time that I ever saw you smile. I want that feeling again. Let's be the way we were when we first began. Yes, we've got something special, and so hold on and don't let go. And I'll never find another like you in this, I know. If I die, I'd hope to find you in another life, so we can fall again. Be the way we were when we first began. Like the first time I ever saw you smile. Give me that feeling again. Be the way we were when we first began. 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 If I die, I hope to find you in another life, so we can fall again. Yeah, be the way we were when we first began. Give me that feeling again. Let's be the way we were when we first began. All right. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. So, that's the first song on the record. And when I was listening to the record, my first thought in terms of like what I was hearing and what it reminded me of was Stevie Wonder. It's probably not too much of a surprise.
Sure, yeah.
And one thing that I noticed about the record as a whole was that, there's some political stuff on here, some personal music on this record, but like Stevie Wonder, like, when I'm thinking back to like Fulfilling This First Finale or Talking Book, like my favorite Stevie Wonder records, it has a political element to it, but when I listen to it, I feel happier and not angrier. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is that something that you're going for, or is that just my own personal?
Well, I think in general, I'm always coming from a place of love, even if it's like, man, it's rough right now. It's always hope and love, is where I'm coming from. Not I'm angry. Even if I am angry, it's like that anger doesn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I quickly get past that and get to, it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
So I think that's just who I am personally, and that just comes through, I think.
Yeah. So like when there's a song on the record called "Everything's Gonna Be All Right."
Yeah.
And that was the one that I was listening to a lot. And yeah, I was wondering, like, when you're writing a song like that and it comes from a place. I mean, the lyrics are, they're stark. I mean, they're real. It's troubling times.
Yeah.
But that music has such a, it's got love in it, right? It's got brightness in it. When you're composing songs, is that something that just sort of pours out of you like that, or are you the way that you compose your songs? Do you sort of leave certain kind of chords or sounds aside? Is that a conscious decision you make when you're writing?
I don't know if it's conscious anymore. I think maybe it was at first. It was very cerebral, but now I think it just happens all at once. It's just kind of a one progression happens. When I know that I want to say this, then I think the music just kind of comes out that way.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times it's music first, right? So the music tells me what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
So I think
was it reversed this time around?
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I had the one of my keyboards. I had the That's the first thing I had, and that's what it told me to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? I mean, in terms of the songs on this record, was there a difference when you were writing these songs as opposed to previous albums in terms of what was going on in your mind, what you wanted to say? Was it more direct?
Yeah, I think this time around, like I said, my previous works were heavily focused on love and relationships. I felt an obligation this time to say more than that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just did. And so there was a conscious effort to say more. Like I was like, no, I could write these love songs and that's great and they're beautiful, but I need to say something. I need to give a voice to this. Like we're talking about everything's gonna be all right, but that was an intentional wanting to have some type of anthem for us to sing, to battle this with love and with hope,
Yeah.
So those things were intentional, and I can say that has never happened in any previous record where I felt the need to not just make beautiful music that made people feel good, but to make them think and move them to whatever action they're supposed to be moving to.
Yeah, cool. So you're gonna do one more for us from Gumbo today. Tell me what that one's gonna be.
I was still making up my mind on what I wanted to do. I want to do Religion. Let's do Religion.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I know you don't have yet. I know. So I'll start with me. Let's see. best decisions. Yeah, yeah. Not saying you don't have good intentions. I know that you are only human, yeah. But you blame your God when it's your own fault. Where is the love that your God spoke of? Maybe your God had nothing to do with that, yeah. Nothing to do with that, yeah, yeah. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that, yeah. That's what you were told, let's just be honest, yeah. You didn't even take the time to find it yourself. You just took their words to be true, yeah. You don't even know why you believe what you do, but you blame your God when it's your own fault. Where is the love that your God spoke of? Maybe your God had nothing to do with that, yeah. Nothing to do with that, yeah, yeah. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Your God had nothing to do with that. Oh, nothing to do with that, yeah. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Pre-chorus. But you blame your God when it's your own fault. Where is the love that your God spoke of? Maybe your God had nothing to do with that. 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 Your God had nothing to do with that. Oh, nothing to do. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it.
Guys, thank you so much, man.
Man, my pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you
Well,
for
the pleasure
having
was
me.
all ours, man. Yeah, everybody, this is PJ Morton. He was joined today on bass by Brian Cockrum.
Yes.
The album is Gumbo. It is double Grammy nominated right now for Best R&B Album and Best R&B Song for First Began.
Yes,
Grammys are coming up in January.
Can't wait,
You got
man.
your outfit picked out
Right
and
here in
everything?
New York City. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
We're working on it, though.
Yeah,
I got
all right.
options.
Piecing it
I got
together
options.
from here and there. Yeah.
No doubt.
So yeah, everyone pick up Gumbo. The website is pjmortonmusic.com. You can hear a lot of this music there. Some videos. There's some dates coming up too. Next one is coming up in Virginia. I think you're headed back down south for the next.
That's
tour
right.
dates,
Yeah, we go to Houston, Dallas, and do some things, and then we'll get right back on the road next year.
Yeah.
Right after the Grammys. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, dude, congratulations on
Thank
the
you
record
so much,
and
man.
the Grammy nominations. That's great. And thank you so much for coming to Paste and playing in our studio for us today.
Good to be here, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
had a
Thanks.
great time.
Come back and play again for us anytime. All right.
Will do.
All right.
Will do. I'm coming tomorrow.